All right, we're going to keep going here today. Welcome back. We're talking about Chakra 7, the thought chakra, the crown chakra. We dove into types of consciousness, and now we're getting into information. So, through our experiences, each one of us is building a personal matrix of information within our minds. This is like when you have information constantly coming to you. Occasionally you're going to have to reorganize, and so little enlightenments that come to you when, like, it's almost like, you know, that Bejeweled kind of game where the jewels come down and then finally they all fit into place and you get points. That's when you have like an aha or an enlightening thought, a moment like that. So the mind prefers to keep our inner and outer experiences coherent. If you have a belief system that says women are inferior, for example, then you're going to manifest that in all of your actions, including finding people to corroborate with. If you believe it's your lucky day, you're more likely to manifest positive things in your life. She's kind of alluding to the power of positive thinking and the power of setting a like daily intention or mantra of positive self-talk. It is real and it matters, and it can kind of make or break your day. One of the traps of the mind: how do we take in new information and expand our consciousness if we reject anything that doesn't fit the current inner paradigm? And if we disregard this inner matrix, how do we discern truth from fiction or organize the vast amount of information that we receive at each moment? The best answer to this lies in meditation, for it's a practice that allows the mind to sort through the data, discard outmoded belief systems and unnecessary information, and reset the personal matrix with an underlying unity. I really like that. It's like taking a literal deep breath and just clearing everything out and defragmenting your hard drive. It really helps us to retain our center, which is the primary organizing matrix of the self. Meditation is so important. Okay, downloading information. All of this data implies that there's some kind of information field existing independently of its perceiver. Whoa. Much as radio waves exist independently of radios, or the internet exists with whether or not you have a computer, the body, with its amazing nervous system and reactive capacity, is the receiver of information, just as your computer can receive and download information from the internet. Okay, that's pretty cool. Higher planes are often called causal planes. When we tune in, or in tune, we can tap this information field and enter the realm of causality. So there's a guy named Rupert Sheldrake. He's a biologist, and he coined the term that at least partially describes entering the causal plane. He called it morphogenetic fields. The word morph meaning form, and genesis meaning come into being. So where form comes into being. Morphogenetic fields are characteristic objects and behaviors and may explain much of what is called instinct. They pertain to relationships between consciousness and manifestation, as they form two-way links between the two worlds, consciousness and manifestation. So how do you get from point A to point B? He says it's through these morphogenetic fields. The field, what was it? The beginning, form coming into being. The field where form comes into being makes sense. And then, when beliefs are held by large numbers of people, their field gets stronger and stronger, loosening the chance of survival of the opposing beliefs. We see this a lot with like politics right now and just a lot of really strong beliefs. The field created by the belief in male supremacy, for example, is a primary it's a primary example because it has been instilled so completely in our culture, male supremacy, over the last several thousand years, offering greater advantages to men who are then able to achieve more. As women find their power through feminism, another field is being generated that allows the cultural belief system to change form. So the more women understand, it's like it picks up momentum. This takes a long time and many, many women and men to involve themselves in building up the new field. But as time goes by, it gets stronger, and it's easier for the next generation of men and women to hold the new belief system. So yeah, it does take a while for people's minds to change. I see that living in the South, having lived in the North and then coming back. I was raised in the South and moved to the North and then moved back to the South. There's definitely some old ingrained thought patterns and belief systems down here that are going to take a while still, to change. It was very apparent when I moved back. I was like, whoa, you really still think like that? Okay. If we wish to change our consciousness, we have to tap into the fields from which it arises and search for higher degrees of order within them. From a transcendent level, we can access new fields of higher order. Then we can change our matrix and its manifestation in the physical world. So that's really cool. You can change it. This is the process of self-conscious evolution made possible only by journeys into consciousness. So why are we doing all of this work? We are evolving our self-conscious evolution, okay? Some people call it our spiritual evolution. It's important work, and we're doing it. It's made possible by journeys into consciousness. So for a lot of people, that is meditation, and that can be so many different things to so many different people. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but for now, let's jump into transcendence and eminence. The crown chakra is a meeting point between finite and infinite, mortal and divine, temporal and timeless. It is the gateway through which we expand beyond our personal self, beyond the limits of space, time, and experience primordial unity and transcendent bliss. It's also the point where divine consciousness enters the body and descends, bringing awareness to all the other chakras, as I mentioned before, and it gives us more meaning to be able to operate in the world around us. All right, so we talked about the cognitive and the transcendent currents here in our consciousness. Well, these two different but complementary ways of thought. I think my baby just woke up. They create complementary spiritual states. So that is the transcendent and the immanent. So from the cognitive and transcendent, we get the transcendent and immanent spiritual states. So this ascending current is going to bring liberation, and the descending current brings manifestation again. We've talked about that. So we need both. We need both flows to be whole. Okay. Attachment is the primary demon of the crown chakra. So the most characteristic quality of transcendent consciousness is emptiness. It's just like the emptiness of a cup allows it to be filled. The emptiness of our minds allows a clear channel through which to experience transcendence. Okay, you think about a cup. If it's empty, you can fill it. Okay. I might have to make a part 3. We'll see in just a moment. I do want to finish this little section. Consciousness, having divine realization as its origin, and eminence is the awareness of the divine within, whereas transcendence is the awareness of the divine without. So you can see it as those two things. Eminence, divine within. Transcendence, divine without. The inhale and the exhale of the crown chakra. Okay, so I'm going to finish up here. My kids might barge in at any moment, but we're going to chug along. Meditation is the key to the lotus here. So it's essential to nourish the spirit, and it's as essential as eating or sleeping to our body. So meditation is so important, and there's so many ways to meditate. You can regulate your breath, you can intone mantras, you can visualize colors, shapes, or deities, move energy through your chakras, walk or move with awareness, hook yourself to a brain machine, or just stare blankly in front of you. But all of these ways to meditate have, hold on one second. One moment. Here. Okay. Thanks. All right. So all of those meditation techniques have something in common. They have to enhance, soothe, and harmonize the vibrational aspects of your mind and body, cleansing your mind of its habitual clutter. So, we take for granted the fact that we need to take a shower, that we need to clean our house or wash our clothes, and we'd be uncomfortable if we didn't do those things. You would stink, right? You would be gross, and it would be like you're the object of social criticism. But the mind and its thoughts need cleansing, if not just as much, maybe more than our bodies, right? You got to take the garbage out. The mind works longer, it encounters wider dimensions, and it runs the operating system of your whole life. We would never eat off of yesterday's dirty dishes, but we think nothing about tackling today's problems with like a dirty, uncluttered, like a cluttered mind from yesterday. No wonder we feel tired, confused, and ignorant sometimes. She also touches on Transcendental Meditation, which is just focusing in on one mantra over and over again, because they were able to do actual scientific studies on brain waves for meditators participating in Transcendental Meditation. So there are so many benefits. There are physical, psychological, and whole life benefits to meditation. Meditators were found to have improved academic performance, increased job satisfaction and production, decrease in drug use, both prescription and recreational, and faster reaction times. All of this by simply sitting and doing nothing. Pretty incredible. Yes, so there's so many different meditation techniques. Again, they all have a commonality among them, and that is that they all involve focusing the mind on one thing that's like soothing and enhancing. It is a discipline, just like any other discipline. It's going to become easier with practice. So I've heard people say, I've tried meditation, I can't do it, Okay, like it is a practice. And sometimes it can feel like it is just a practice, but you practice things that are good for you, and when you understand the benefits here, it makes it a lot easier to set aside that time. Enlightenment, home at last. Got a picture of a girl meditating here. So enlightenment is not a thing, it's a process. It's a thing is something that you acquire, whereas a process is something to be. If enlightenment were a thing, it would be a contradiction in terms to have found it, for it is inseparable from the self who is looking. Upon realization, we find that it was never lost. And so we come at last to the end and find that it's only another beginning. But for what other reason do ends exist? She offers some 7th chakra exercises. You can follow your thoughts. She goes through a journey to the Akashic records, which is kind of cool. I'm not going to read through those. If you want to try them, you can always purchase this book. I got mine on Amazon. So in our next segment, we're going to be putting it all together. We still got a bit more of this book. Thank you for joining me today.
In Rosie's closet.
Oh, okay.
Go get it.
Say namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Bye.